What is going on, guys, and welcome to another video. And today we're going to be talking about the BAFTAs long list for their category of best special visual effects. Now, if you've been following my channel, you know I like to cover the Oscars, I like to cover award season, and the BAFTAs have just released their long lists for every category. Now, unlike the Oscars, the Oscars will have short lists for maybe at least currently 10 categories. For I believe it's live action short film, animated short film, documentary short film, documentary feature, best visual effects, best makeup and hairstyling, best sound, best original score, best international feature, and best original song. Whereas in the BAFTAs, they have long lists for every category. And surprisingly, The Fabelmans really missed out on a lot of particular categories, especially Best Director for Steven Spielberg, which is crazy. And I remember, because last year, West Side Story underperformed at the BAFTAs, so that's really fascinating to see. And I will say I have some thoughts on the best visual effects category at the BAFTAs, but however, we'll get to that when we get to that. Now, if you saw, without any further ado, let's get to the long list that the BAFTAs have this year. And their long list is pretty damn similar to the Oscars, aside from two. The films that will compete in the BAFTAs for Best Special Visual Effects are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Jurassic World Dominion, and Top Gun Maverick. Now, if we compare this to the Oscars shortlist for Best Visual Effects, it's pretty similar, but again, -2. They have All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, Jurassic World Dominion, Nope, 13 Lives, and Top Gun Maverick. So as you can see, the Oscars don't have Everything Everywhere All at Once and Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. And honestly, between the BAFTA's long list and the Oscars short list, I prefer the Oscars short list, because I'm not gonna lie, I keep saying this. What was it? Everything Everywhere All at Once does not deserve to be a visual effects contender. I mean, it doesn't matter how much you love the movie, it's not deserving for best visual effects. And people go, well, 6 people worked on it. So, that's amazing. I mean, yeah, 6 people worked on the visual effects because the movie had 6 people's worth of visual effects to have. And really, most of what people are thinking is the editing. The editing in the movie is sporadic and insane, but not a lot of that has to do with the visual effects. And the reason why I bring that up is because, when you look at the history of the BAFTAs, they seem to be, I don't know how to explain this, because sometimes, the BAFTAs and the Oscars are voted on by pretty similar people. Because with the Oscars, they have what is known as, different branches of the Academy. Directors nominate directors, actors nominate actors, writers nominate the screenplay category, cinematographers nominate the cinematography category, and visual effects people, the visual effects branch, nominates for the best visual effects category. And in the BAFTAs, it's pretty similar. I mean, granted, I think the acting categories are still voted on by everyone, but they have what's called chapters, which is basically the exact same thing as the Academy. But the BAFTAs seem to have they'll have similar choices, but it's still very different in some cases. Like for again, I'm one like Everything Everywhere All at Once and Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio especially surprises me because in round 1 of the Oscar shortlist, it didn't even Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio didn't even make it. And again, we're looking at the BAFTAs. Now the BAFTAs are relatively new-ish to the whole Longlist thing, because they've done it only a few other times. They had one in 2021 where they had Black Widow, Cruella, Don't Look Up, Dune, Eternals, Free Guy, The French Dispatch, Ghostbusters Afterlife, The King's Man, Last Night in Soho, The Matrix Resurrections, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, The Suicide Squad, and Venom: Let There Be Carnage. Which, if you're paying attention, you'll notice that Godzilla vs. Kong isn't on there, despite in the Visual Effects Society Awards, it got one, let's see, 2, 3, three nominations at the Visual Effects Society Awards, including Outstanding Visual Effects in a Photoreal Feature. Now, I'm not saying I would nominate Godzilla vs. Kong, but in a list of what seemed to be 15 movies, you can't fit Godzilla vs. Kong in there? And you're probably wondering why Spider-Man No Way Home isn't on there. That's because Spider-Man No Way Home didn't qualify for any BAFTAs because it released too late. So that's the reason. But even when you look at the nominees, they had Dune, Free Guy, Ghostbusters Afterlife, The Matrix Resurrections, and No Time to Die. Which again is strange considering they don't have Shang-Chi in there, despite the fact that Shang-Chi was nominated for it was nominated for the top prize of the Visual Effects Society Awards. Okay, but Matrix was as well. But with Shang-Chi, it was also nominated for outstanding compositing and lighting in a feature, outstanding effect simulations in a photoreal feature, outstanding virtual cinematography in a photoreal feature. If I'm not mistaken, Shang-Chi had the second most amount of nominations in the VFX Society Awards, whereas, like I said, it didn't even get a nomination here, which is kind of crazy. In 2020, in 2020 they had The Five Bloods, Greyhound, The Invisible Man, Mank, The Midnight Sky, Mulan, News of the World, The Old Guard, The One and Only Ivan, Pinocchio, The Secret Garden, Sonic the Hedgehog, Soul, Tenet, and Wonder Woman 1984. And in the nominations ended up being Greyhound, The Midnight Sky, Mulan, The One and Only Ivan, and Tenet. Which I will say is kind of weird that Love and Monsters didn't get in there, but then at the same time, it didn't get nominated for any Visual Effects Society Awards, which I don't even know why I'm bringing up 2020 to begin with, because it was clearly an asterisk year for visual effects. Most of the actual competitors didn't even come out, they were delayed. So we might as well just skip this. This is probably the only time I can think of, maybe, I might be wrong, this is the only time I can think of where the nominees for Best Visual Effects, oh wait, I don't have it here, were the nominees for, oh, actually, wait, yeah, they were the same as the Oscars, but that's a funny thing, for the longest time, as we know, they had long lists. The BAFTAs had long lists in 2022, in 2021, and 2020, but for the longest time they didn't have long lists, and they only had long lists 2 other times. One was in 2011, where they had The Adventures of Tintin, The Secret of the Unicorn, The Artist, Captain America the First Avenger, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, Hugo, Midnight in Paris, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows, Super 8, Transformers: Dark of the Moon, Warhorse, X-Men: First Class. And the first one they ever had was in 2010, which was 127 Hours, Alice in Wonderland, Black Swan, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, Hereafter, How to Train Your Dragon, Inception, Iron Man 2, Kick-Ass, The King's Speech, Monsters, Shutter Island, Toy Story 3, and Tron Legacy. So long lists are relatively new to the BAFTAs, and they only recently started doing them again. But again, I'm wondering why there's such a big discrepancy, like, you know, where when the BAFTAs have some nominations. Again, like I said, Shang-Chi didn't even get nominated for any BAFTAs, despite having the second most amount of nominations at the Visual Effects Society Awards, and he got nominated for the Oscar for Best Visual Effects as well. So I don't know really how this works entirely. Maybe the British see visual effects differently, or maybe they just have completely different people voting for Best Visual Effects. Or maybe there's a big discrepancy in how many voters there are, because I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I think at least 100 people vote for the BAFTAs for Best Visual Effects, but I don't know how many people vote for the Oscars as well. I mean, the Oscars overall have way more members, I'm assuming, than the BAFTAs do. So, again, but I just find it to be a very strange kind of discrepancy. And again, when you look at the history of the BAFTAs, they are more kind of again, they always disagree with the Oscars. Now, the reason why I'm hesitant to even do this video is because I have lost faith in the BAFTAs for visual effects. And the reason why I especially believe this is because they chose Black Panther as the winner for Best Visual Effects in 2018. I mean, the ceremony was in 2019, but you get it. You get what I'm talking about. And despite the fact that, again, in the Oscars, you know, Black Panther did not get nominated. And not only did it not get nominated, if we go down to 2018, you'll see Black Panther has 0 nominations at the Visual Effects Society Awards. So how the fuck did they let this happen? How did they let Black Panther get nominated, much less win, despite the fact that the visual effects were the one thing that everyone criticized about Black Panther? And I don't get it. I really do not get it. So, that's why I don't really hold... It's the same reason why I don't trust the Critics' Choice Awards for visual effects either, because they also chose Black Panther to win Best Visual Effects. But I'm just really wondering how this is the case. If anyone is a member of the Academy and the BAFTAs organization, I don't really know. But I really want to know how different the visual effects branch is from the Academy with the visual effects chapter of the BAFTAs. Because, again, when we're looking at the Visual Effects Society Awards, 0 nominations for Black Panther, no nominations for best visual effects at the Oscars, and yet somehow Black Panther ended up winning the BAFTA, which is incredibly stupid. So I don't know, but like I said, the best special visual effects long list of 2022 is All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Jurassic World Dominion, and Top Gun: Maverick. I think the best way to describe the nominations for the BAFTAs is generally what people like what maybe like film Twitter would nominate for best visual effects. I mean, they would absolutely nominate Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now, like I said, these aren't the nominees yet. These are not the nominees. Just 5 of these will be chosen as nominees. And which ones do I think will get in there? Again, like I said, it's probably going to be a kind of boring, you know, list of like that. Again, a lot of film Twitter would likely predict for the Oscars. I think it's gonna be All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, maybe Everything Everywhere All at Once, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, and Top Gun: Maverick. I'm not saying that's what should be nominated. If it were me voting from this list, I'd probably have to choose Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Top Gun Maverick. Oh boy. And maybe Jurassic World Dominion? I don't know. But again, it's just so weird that, you know, now I have to know what this year's Visual Effects Society Awards are going to look like. I have to know what that's going to look like now, because like that's going to determine a lot of, like, you know, that's going to be a big player. 2023 VFX Society Awards. When are the nominations? I need to look up when the nominations are for, let's see, January 17th. And that's only like a few days away from the Oscars, or like the Oscar nominations, I should say. So that January 17th, that is the Tuesday after next. So the Tuesday after next is when they announce the nominees for the Visual Effects Society Awards. Because I like that, again, that's going to be fascinating. Where is it going to go? Where is the Visual Effects Society going to go with all this? I'm not because with the Visual Effects Society Awards, I'm not like, even for outstanding supporting visual effects, I'm not expecting everything everywhere to get in there. I'm not expecting that. I'm hoping they'll be more kind to the movie Beast, the Idris Elba movie, The Lion. I'm still shocked that didn't make round 1 of the Oscars shortlist. I'm still shocked that didn't happen. Maybe Goodnight Oppie might make outstanding supporting visual effects. Let's see, for supporting visual effects, maybe they might go for All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, Goodnight Oppie, 13 Lives. But, and here's another thing. Does Nope count as a... Does Nope count as a visual effects driven film, or a film with supporting visual effects? I don't know. But yeah, but still, this is fascinating. This is fascinating to see where because again, like, this seems like what a lot of people would have predicted for the Oscars going into it. Now, even though for the Oscars, I really was not predicting Everything Everywhere All at Once. I said from day one, this is not going to get nominated for Best Visual Effects. I don't even expect it to be in the short list. And like I said, lo and behold, you know, I was right. Everything Everywhere didn't get in the Oscar shortlist. And I also said that Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is nowhere near as, you know, big and bombastic as something like Kubo and the Two Strings was when it comes to stop motion. And again, it didn't even get in the 20 film shortlist at the Oscars. So, but like I said, if you are a member of these branches, you know, or like if you are a member of the Oscars and the BAFTAs, and you're in the visual effects, you know, chapter and branch of those two respective, you know, organizations, let me know what the difference is between the voting base in the BAFTAs and the voting base in the Oscars, because there's some, like I said, there's some big discrepancies. I gotta know how Black Panther remotely got nominated for Best Visual Effects at the BAFTAs. So yeah, guys, that is the Best Special Visual Effects long list for the BAFTAs. Let me know what you think of this long list. What do you think is going to get nominated? What do you think won't get nominated? What are you surprised didn't get in there? Again, I'm kind of surprised. I shouldn't be that surprised, because like I said, like, the BAFTAs visual effects stuff is a lot more what the general public would think would get in there. But regardless of that, let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit that like button. It helps out the algorithm. Hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you can be notified of future videos. And if you want to see more, click this.